Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm doing a series of 9 types of men that you should avoid. So, are you in a relationship with somebody who seems like really close, you can't really get close to them? Or the opposite end of the spectrum, where your partner's just so open, you have no idea that anybody could be this open with all the information and feelings that they share with you? Well, there's a good chance that you're in a relationship with Mr. Emotionally Unavailable or Mr. Overly Emotional. Now, Mr. Emotionally Unavailable, or at the opposite end of the spectrum, Mr. Overly Emotional, comes in 3 versions: Mr. Rebound, Mr. Insecure, and Mr. Manipulator. Mr. Emotionally Unavailable and Mr. Overly Emotional are at opposite ends of the spectrum. With Mr. Emotionally Unavailable, he never lets you in. He's put up a wall around his heart. You'll never know his feelings completely, and Mr. Emotionally Unavailable will do things, but you'll never understand why they do it. Now, with Mr. Overly Emotional, he's very open, and he'll share all of his feelings and thoughts with you. In fact, he will share too much of his thoughts and feelings with you. So, what attracts you to Mr. Emotionally Unavailable or Mr. Overly Emotional? Well, when it comes to Mr. Emotionally Unavailable, that's a man of mystery. And who doesn't like a mystery? Well, you definitely like a mystery, so you're gonna hang in there because you're hoping that maybe instead of seeing this small part of him, you can get him to open up and open wide and share everything with you, and you will have succeeded. When it comes to Mr. Overly Emotional, why, the attraction is that you've met somebody who's willing to talk to you about anything. Someone who opens up about their feelings and their emotions, and it's refreshing to you because you've dealt with other men who don't do those things. Let's talk about the 3 versions of Mr. Emotionally Unavailable or Mr. Overly Emotional. So, if you're dealing with Mr. Rebound is somebody who's recently gotten out of a relationship. So Mr. Rebound may be emotionally unavailable to you because he's just gotten out of a relationship and he's hurt, so he shuts down. Now, Mr. Rebound may also be overly emotional with you because he's just gotten out of a relationship and he's hurt, but he wants to share all of that with you. So he's going to talk to you about all the feelings and emotions that he's going through because he's rebounding. In either case, Mr. Rebound is an emotional vampire. The next version you may deal with is Mr. Insecure. So if Mr. Insecure is being emotionally unavailable with you, well, that's because he's scared that he'll be hurt by you, and he doesn't really trust you, so he shuts it all down. Now, if Mr. Insecure is being overly emotional with you, that's because he's scared and he's seeking your validation because he believes that it's only a matter of time before you leave him. Mr. Insecure is also an emotional vampire. The 3rd version is Mr. Manipulator. Now, if Mr. Manipulator is being emotionally unavailable to you, it's because it's a punishment. He's punishing you because he's trying to manipulate you into doing something. If Mr. Manipulator is being overly emotional with you, unfortunately, that's a trap. He's trying to trick you into dropping your guard so that he can learn more about you and then manipulate you. So, what are some of the clues that you're dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable or overly emotional? Well, if you're dealing with the emotionally unavailable, then any attempt to initiate any deep conversation is going to lead right into some type of argument, because by trying to break through that wall, you are triggering them. When it comes to clues, we're dealing with Mr. Overly Emotional. Well, you're going to feel emotionally drained. You're going to feel like this man needs a therapist rather than you, because you're going to see yourself as being their rock, but you don't want to be their rock every single day. Well, that's it for Mr. Emotionally Unavailable or Mr. Overly Emotional. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love